Hey guys, I'm John with Bloodbath and Beyond, and we're in Pennsylvania on the set of Zombie Killers with Harrison Smith. What was it like jumping from a subgenre of horror to a different one?
The jump was easy. While filming Camp Dread, my director of photography asked me, his name is Charlie Anderson, for Camp Dread and also Zombie Killers. He said, would you ever make a zombie movie? And my reply was, fuck no, I won't make a zombie movie. And he said, why? And I said, because zombie films are lazy. It's kind of like the NASCAR of horror. And that is, you know where it begins, you know where it ends, and you hope for a couple crashes in between. So he said, well, he goes, that's just because you couldn't write a good one. So I'm like, all right, screw you. And I went out and I wrote this one called Elephant's Graveyard. That winter, a guy came to me, our executive producer, Jeff Trainer, and he said, I want to make a zombie movie. And I was like, son of a bitch. I said, I can sum up all the seasons of The Walking Dead in one sentence. People argue, zombies attack. And I'm not saying Walking Dead is bad. I'm not saying that, oh, it's high production value, it's well acted, well written, the whole thing, but it's still zombies.
And what did you find most challenging about this film?
Most zombie movies are very claustrophobic. Most attacks come on small isolated farms, apartment buildings, closed, congested urban areas, because then you can hire 100 extras and make them look like 1,000. So with this, I wanted it to be much like the American Western. The ATVs in the film are like the horses. The younger kids are like the young guns. Billy Zane is very much like a Rooster Cogburn. And the town is like a Deadwood kind of town.
Let's talk about the casting choices here, because there are some reoccurring cast members that we see. What's your method? What's your process about picking and choosing people to play these roles?
Well, growing up, I was always an admirer of John Carpenter. And especially, I think Carpenter's best films were always when he reused a lot of the same people, a lot of the same cast and crew. Much of my cast you've seen since 6 Degrees of Hell. And out of all 4 films so far, 3 of them contain pretty much all of the same cast again. Why did we select Billy Zane? My executive producer is one of the only holders of a boarding pass of the Titanic. He owns all the marketing rights for the Titanic to turn it into a hotel or casino, which they are building, I believe it is in Singapore. So he wanted something affiliated with Titanic. And I told him, well, unless you want to pay $27 million for DiCaprio, he's probably going to be out of this. He said, well, what about Billy Zane? And I'm like, I guess we'll try. And literally about 2 weeks later, Billy Zane's agent said, he loves the script, he's in, let's talk money.
So there's Dee Wallace I want to talk about for a second.
Yeah.
I know she just recently finished another style of zombie movie a few years ago, Exit Humanity.
Yep.
Knowing that she has past experience with zombie films, was that something where you're like, you know what, I need to get Dee Wallace in on this?
No. I saw Exit Humanity, and she's not in it a lot, and she's not in ours a lot. However, where she is, her performance is extremely powerful, and you'll see that. When you see the film, we used Dee Wallace to perfect effect in the film. We had her on set for 5 days. I mean, she's a legend. And, you know, it was just simply a matter of, I wanted to get in touch with her. I reached out to her, and she said, listen, I think my daughter, you don't have to use her, but I think my daughter would be perfect as Nikki. We thought Gabrielle Stone was the perfect Nikki, and she really was. Wait till you see her in this movie.
Is there any type of homage that we should be looking forward to?
Felissa Rose plays a religious zealot in this film, an end is nigh kind of woman, who is actually based on somebody that I actually saw in action in a church one time, and it made me stop going to church. Like, I was like, if these are the people that are going to heaven, kick my ass to hell, because I don't want to be stuck for eternity with these people. The speech in Zombie Killers that Felissa Rose gives in the first congregation meeting is inspired by a real stand-up talk at a real congregation meeting, in which I was like, I looked around, and when I saw people going, I'm like, people drank the Kool-Aid, I'm out. I'm totally out. It's kind of like, you don't have a problem with Jesus. It's his fucking fan club. So we got her in there, and Felissa has been with me since Camp Dread, which obviously was a huge tip of the hat to Sleepaway Camp. Yeah. And then even Misha Barton, with a little nod toward The Sixth Sense. Misha plays a very demure kind of character in this, kind of a very damaged girl. And she read the script on a camping trip. We got her at the 11th hour.
What's your stance on CG versus practical effects?
There's nothing wrong with CGI when it's used properly. And that's a nebulous word too, because what is properly? In the case here, where we needed vast hordes of zombies, we didn't have the budget to pay literally 100,000 extras and feed them. That's where we used our CGI to create the expanse and the vastness of the horde that is coming toward Elwood. All of our zombies, close-ups, are all makeup zombies, done by Angie Johnson. In addition, all of our gore shots, our head shots, belly shots, all of that are practical. Okay, so we use blood packs, squibs, the whole thing. We did that all practical.
Film's been picked up by Anchor Bay.
Yeah.
What kind of release are you hoping for when the film drops?
Okay, Anchor Bay got even more excited about watching this when they saw the wide paintball market that can also be approached. When you see how it is implemented organically into the film, you'll totally get it. They really want to open this up to give it the widest release, best chance. They're already talking to us about a sequel because they see we've created a whole world with this. This isn't about zombies. I'm going to tell you right now. Like for example, Jaws is not about the shark. Jaws is about Brody and the town and the economic trouble that the town is in. The real villain is the mayor, not the shark, okay? The minute that the Jaws franchise went in the toilet was when the movies became about the shark. That was it. Your best zombie movies are not about the zombies. Zombie Killers, although you have that title, it's not about the zombies, it's about the people. And Anchor Bay saw that, and they said, quote unquote, we see 25, up to 25 bad zombie films a year. This is not one of them.